In today's episode of Nightreign, we'll be looking into what type of player you may come across and what type of playstyles and habits they exhibit. Let's get into it. For this first type of player, we'll be discussing newbies. Newbies are a type of player that are very inexperienced with the role of what to do in boss fights and general team coordination. For example, I'll let this clip play out that perfectly demonstrates my points, and if you fall into this category, it's okay, we've all been there once. Let's pause for a minute. What do you think this player should do? Should he A. Run away, B. Run away, or C. Stand there? If you chose the option C, you are correct. And that, my friends, is the newbie category. Pretty much sums it up. Now we're going to be moving on to the self-proclaimed leader. The self-proclaimed leader. The player who sends out the most pings and those who follow. It's pretty self-explanatory that if you're following a good route and the leaders sending out good pings, saying where to go, when storm's coming, it's a useful rule, but it can be rather annoying. However, some players are quite good at this, so they make for pretty good self-proclaimed leaders. For example, pinging the great churches, and then collecting the stone sword key, then going to jails, and then routing to a church, and then going from there. If there's a field boss, a shifting earth, that it becomes quite easy to then follow. But since the game has been out for a while now, we have now found out the routing and skips to further improve time during the day. So once the circle starts closing, we're able to then finish up. And now that gets us onto our third type of player, the quitters. With some of these quitters in the first few clips, that they've very early on in the run that they have quit out, and on most cases it's due to most of the team going down, or if the team's not competent enough. I'll be surprised when the new Deep of Night game mode comes out and see how prevalent the quitters are, because I can imagine with now a rank game mode that it'd be quite penalizing with how the point distribution goes. But hopefully FromSoft kind of implements a way so then people who are just throwing games do get penalized for doing so, because can't imagine it's going to be too good for people who actually want to try and get good MMR. So hopefully FromSoft fixes it. Now that brings us onto our last player type, the Tryhard. Tryhards, as the name suggests, is a player or a group that try really hard to do as much as they can within a certain time. The example given for Nightreign players is maximizing the routing, looting, exploration, and then shifting earths, picking up Evergels for the passive attack buff, and then trying to get as many good legendaries as possible, so then that makes the Night Lord at the end a lot more like paperweight. But that about sums it up for today's video. I am very excited for the Deeper Night game mode to come out tomorrow, so I'm expecting it to be quite intense, and hopefully there's some new elements and randomizations to these seeds that have now going to be in the Deeper Night. Hopefully the enemies, bosses are more enhanced, so it brings out more difficulty, but it's a gradual difficulty rather than a instant difficulty spike. So hopefully as the game mode releases and we become more accustomed to it, the randomization and freshness to the game is renewed, since a lot of players are feeling the same way, where the game is so set that we know routing, know where the bosses are, know what the determined night bosses are, and it just doesn't make the game a roguelike in that sense. It's just not random enough, and this hopefully would make a lot of people come back to the game. Not saying that the player base has all gone, there is still a dedicated amount of players that are playing. But with that said, thank you all for watching, and make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.